And that's us.
Back at it.
Back. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Industry Professionals. That movie talk show that nobody really listens to.
What if we were industry professionals this week?
What do you mean?
Like if we talked about we were like a trade radio show.
Yeah.
Or we were like talking about the gossip and like who's working on what.
Yeah. That'd be funny.
Giving some juicy tidbits about the industry.
But instead, we brought in some unprofessionals today.
Instead, we just brought in a gaggle of people.
that sounds about right. We got the theme of the episode is episodes because we got
meta.
Yeah, it's very meta. We got 4 different people, each completely different, pretty much from each other. We got our good friend Billie talking about an episode of BoJack Horseman. Our good friend Teddy talking about an episode of Doctor Who. Our good friend Anya talking about an episode of Steven Universe, and Joe, who's going to talk about Kitchen Nightmares. So do you want to get right into it?
And I assure you, if you're worried about the level of professionalism, taking a hit because of these randos we have in the studio, I assure you they are as qualified to host a radio show as we are.
Exactly.
So I think usually we try to talk about some sort of overarching theme, but I don't think that's going to really be doable unless we do some serious gymnastics.
I don't want to do gymnastics.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try to get some synthesis at the end.
Yeah. Let's.
But basically, we just reached out to some people. I feel like this is actually the first good premise of an worthy of being a show,
like a sound idea.
Like it's a concept where people would be like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Okay. Yeah. No, probably it's probably the closest we've gotten to it.
Like a real thing.
Still haven't hit the mark, but we're on our way.
And we'll ruin it yet.
Yeah. We'll talk the whole time, and they won't. Like right now, right, guys?
Yeah.
Woo. All right. So do you want to get into it?
Yeah. So we asked people to say, what's your favorite episode of TV, and then we watched them all, and then we're going to talk about them with the people who said that.
And the other people are going to chime in because they have nowhere better to be.
If they have something really good or really funny, like medium funny,
something that's
run it by me first.
Good enough to hear in the background. Oh my god!
It's just holding up a CD that says "The Misfits of Ska 2,
Part 2."
It's his second part.
Leave a like if you want to hear some of this later.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. I don't think we're on any form of media that allows you to like it.
Can you like stuff on SoundCloud?
I think you can only heart it.
That's a like.
I'm just as cool. Could people call in to ask?
I don't know. Our episodes haven't gotten any of whatever it is, so I'm assuming it doesn't work.
That's fair, yeah. I don't think people can listen to our show because it's like there's no listens.
Okay, let's talk about the episodes.
All right,
so we're gonna do some mic adjustments. So you got to bear with us for the
Billie, lean in
audio quality, or if you can hear people or not.
Oh, I'm leaning.
Say mic check.
There.
Give a mic check.
Hello.
We
mic
actually
check.
Check. Headphones, so.
Check.
I know.
Check.
All I can see on the thing, it's doing the thing,
All
so
right,
it's cool.
Nice.
All right, so Billie, why did you pick this episode
what
of
episode
BoJack?
is it?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I feel like we should also
right.
have them explain the show, the premise of the show overall, not just this episode.
Yeah, Billie, it's up to you right now to tell us about BoJack.
Yeah,
Go.
Do this.
Explain what this show is.
All right, so the television series titled BoJack Horseman is a Netflix original starring my boy Will Arnett and others who are also famous. And basically, it's the premise of this guy who's a horse named BoJack Horseman, who used to be in a 90s sitcom that was super popular, and here it is, modern day, 20-something years later, right? Is that math right?
Yeah, that's
Probably.
right. 20-something.
Heck yeah. And he's just a has-been. Nobody gives a darn about BoJack Horseman no more, and it's just him running through his adventures. But as you go deeper into the show, it gets nothing but awful and depressing in like a very satisfying but also soul-crushing way. And it's just fascinating to watch because the character development is extreme. That's all there is. There's nothing but character development throughout the whole darn program, and it's great.
I feel like it's very emotionally bleak, but not in the way of like, a Game of Thrones or something like that. It's emotionally bleak in ways that like everybody is like, oh, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like they're
it relates to real life situations.
The stuff that they're sad about is stuff that real people are sad about.
It's the realest show out there.
And it's about a talking horse, right, Billy?
Yes, his name is BoJack Horseman.
All right, so what's the episode you chose of said show?
So the episode I chose specifically is from season 5, episode 6, titled "Free Churro." And basically, the premise of the episode is BoJack is giving a speech at his mother's funeral. He's
what are those
doing
called?
A eulogy.
There it is.
A funeral speech.
Funeral speech.
You're like a motivational one.
And the one thing that's really interesting is the whole episode is nothing but him up there talking.
The whole episode?
The whole darn episode.
What about the beginning?
Oh, the very beginning.
Let me get there.
Sorry, Billy.
You gotta let me lead into this stuff. Except for the little intro scene before the opening sequence, the opening title song.
Where it's his dad doing something very similar.
Yeah.
In the industry, call that a cold open.
Yeah.
Cold open.
So you get those here, nowhere else. That's an exclusive.
The opening of the episode was pretty cold.
That's not.
It starts with
You gotta be kidding
a
me.
flashback to it starts with a flashback to young BoJack Horseman sitting there in a little soccer uniform, or for our European fans, football uniform. And he's just sitting there holding his little soccer ball / football, shivering because it's cold outside. You can tell it's cold because there's autumn leaves rustling through.
We're not. Just
waving
to be clear,
about.
we're not gonna be going through with this fine tooth comb for the entire episode.
I think Billy's
And
the only one doing this.
Basically,
Interior funeral parlor.
he's sitting there, and his dad comes and picks him up, and the whole time he's sitting there in the car listening to his dad talk, and BoJack doesn't say a word, but his dad's just sitting there basically giving him the business.
Oh my god.
And
Yeah, what's the business?
Just telling him like mean-spirited lessons about
Yeah.
life.
his
I
dad,
wouldn't even call
like-
those lessons.
I mean, I think
like,
they're misguided lessons.
Okay, that's
right?
fair,
Like
yeah.
if he's
Yeah.
like, don't ever.
don't trust women or anybody.
Yeah. Like he thinks that's a lesson. It's
Yeah.
not valid or
that's true.
morally right in any way. But
Throughout the whole car ride, his dad is pretty much just essentially blaming BoJack for all of his problems as a father and as a husband in general. He makes a bunch of references as to how BoJack is the one who influences his mom to be so mean to his dad, which, if you look at it, it really isn't true, but the fact that he's saying all this to a young child is crazy.
But
And
like that's also like that's a very like real thing is just
Exactly.
like is just like putting blame on a like my parents didn't get along and I internalized that like as me. Like that's a thing that like I know a lot of people have.
Yep.
So again, it's that stuff where it's like it's not unbelievable.
Yeah, no, they're real life situations, and it's like somewhat relatable,
Yeah.
right? We've all been yelled at by a parent, and how it's your fault, right?
All the time.
All right.
I've been yelled at by my parents, and they tell me that it's Dan's fault.
That's fair, man. So why did you pick this episode, Billy? Without describing what happens
Well, and then
in the
he
episode.
eulogizes the
Oh yeah. And he's talking at his mom's funeral.
Yeah.
for like 20 minutes. It's pretty unflinching.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
You can't look away.
Yeah, you really can't. I picked this episode honestly because I'm a little sad boy who loves emotional shows and things that create emotion and feelings within my body. Like I'm the type of guy who will sit there on the street corner listening to like real sad music,
Like
you know what I'm
Sufjan
talking about?
Stevens
Yeah, or
or,
like
like,
Hey There,
Elliott
Delilah,
Smith.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm talking about? Just like, oh man. Just
Oh man.
all that sadness.
Train.
I love it.
drops of Jupiter.
Yeah. So that's why I picked it. Also, I just genuinely really like this show. This is probably one of my favorite shows. And also my favorite Netflix original, possibly the best Netflix original out there. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, take that, orange is the new black.
Get out of here.
Take that, House of Cards.
Yeah, that's
Get
the
outta
thing that's
here.
really
With
bringing
your
you down.
spotless record. House of Cards.
The only thing that's
Jeez.
dethroning House of Cards is that BoJack show.
But yeah, so getting into, I guess, the eulogy part, it's just opens up with him standing there talking about his mom. Or actually, no, it doesn't even.
He's
do
talking
that
about the
yet.
Jack in the Box.
Yeah, first he's talking about a Jack in the Box restaurant.
What does
or
he get at the
whatever.
Jack in the Box?
And basically, he walks up.
There's
and-
there's no rapport.
This isn't a conversation. It's just Billy talking.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
he gets a free churro from the Jack in the Box restaurant along with some other meal. I forget what he gets, but you know,
Sure.
it's other food.
I don't think it's important.
Not even a little bit.
But he got that free churro, and that's the important part?
Yes, because the only reason he got it is because he told the cash register, or the cashier, that his mom died, and because of that, she gave him a free churro. And pretty much the one quote that he constantly says throughout the whole episode is, "My mom died, and all I got out of it is a free churro."
What's the other line that's in the episode quite a bit?
I see you, which is what his mom said to
He's
him.
trying to like pick it apart what her last words meant. And
Yeah.
He's putting a lot of
a lot of
significance.
significance on it, and kind of like he's frustrated in some ways, but he's also like, but maybe I get it in some ways.
Mhm. He's like, man, that was really mean of her to say, like,
Yeah,
like I see
yeah.
you and acknowledging me at the last moment.
Yeah.
But he's like, but at least she did that.
And he's doing this thing that like people do. I feel like a lot of the time when they have like a parent who they don't like who passes away,
Mm-hmm.
is they're like they project so much stuff onto them where it's like, but you know, I knew she was doing that because she knew it would get to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like a classic like I don't like my dead mom thing.
Yeah, like they're kind of out to get him.
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
all
yeah.
of her
Even in her
intentions-
last moments, she was trying to confuse me and make
Yeah.
me feel bad, and like, you know.
Exactly.
But
Billy.
I'm throwing this one to
Yeah, I know.
But
to William.
But the whole time, it just seems like that he's trying to essentially get the point across that he wishes that she did more and that she was a better mom. And essentially, one thing that he brings up is that he talks about how when your parents die, that's it. That's final. And even if they were awful parents, while they're still alive, you can still hope that they become better. But once they're dead, that hope is gone because they never will get better.
He talks about like the Ted Danson show. What was
Yeah,
it,
I kept
Buckley?
waiting for it to get better with
The
like
pieces
one
were
moment
there,
of,
but yeah.
of redemptive, but it's not about one moment of being a redemptively good person. It's about like
Yeah.
being a good person or not being a good person.
He talks about how like he would learn how to be a good person from TV shows, and even though people who are typically bad people in the show would have like one grandstanding moment where
I feel
they're
like there's a type of comedy that just goes so close to the line of just bleak
that's the show.
that you're like but unlike something like this is what we were talking about with what's it called, like the Muppets Take New Zealand. What was that Peter Jackson movie?
Meet the Feebles?
Yeah.
The Muppets Take
What?
New Zealand.
Where we were having the conversation about satire, and I'm like, I feel like it doesn't have jokes in it, but it's just the premise. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the same thing, right? It can get away. BoJack can get away with having episodes that are like not even a joke.
Yeah.
Because it's already absurd. Because you're like, I know in the back of my head it's a comedy. The person's a horseman.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff, and I feel like it, instead of going like super like dark, like edgy dark, it goes dark like emotionally, like real life emotional dark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a show about like animal people, but they're just regular.
But like his
people,
problem
pretty
is
much.
that he's like I'm not happy, and like, you know, I don't feel like I've been successful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And going back to the comedy thing, there's just
There's so many
so
good
much
ones.
jokes.
There
and
are good ones.
There,
in
like this
It's
show,
just
like
they are.
I laughed really hard at a part where I was like, I really feel like I shouldn't have laughed at
Well,
that.
that's the whole
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of moment where you're like, oh, like it's like a gut punch
It-
that you laugh when he's like,
Yeah.
is like, and I mean, she really like.
Yeah, when he's intimidating her death face.
Yeah. It's like it was right, and I feel like you guys could really be. Trust me, I am nailing this impression. You're just like, oh my god, it's like
knock once if you can hear me, mom. Like stuff like that, or like the organ player who's supposed to do a little but
yeah,
and it does at the wrong
Come on, give me a rim
moments.
shot on that one. I thought all the comedy beats were really funny, just because you're like, oh my god,
it's like
dude.
such sharp contrast
It's
to like
so,
what he's talking about.
So
Yeah.
like way over any line.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and I had some notes, but I was realizing I didn't have many notes.
Okay,
And
cool.
it's just, I mean, there's so much to talk about because it is literally just like 20 minutes. It's a 20-minute monologue.
It's straight dialogue.
There were times
just
when
one
I'm
person
like,
talking.
I feel like this could be a monologue that somebody uses for like an audition or something. Where it's like it has this like stage play feel to it.
Yeah, that's fair. What do you think of that, Billy?
Well, when I first saw it, I was just waiting, like, all right, when are they going to switch scenes? When are they going to change scenes? And it just never comes. They leave so many different parts in there where there's just a silence. You're like, oh, okay, now something else is going to happen. And it just doesn't.
Did you know going into it, Ben, that this was going to be all monologue?
No.
Oh, wow.
No.
So how was that for you?
I thought it was really cool.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
I was like, this is cool. This works for what it's
Very cool.
trying to do.
I don't know. Anything else you want to say about it, Billy?
Yeah, I also liked how there's actually another episode in a completely different season where there's no dialogue at all.
The
and it's
underwater
just
one?
nothing. Yeah, it's just nothing but silence and music. While in this one, there's no music, no nothing. It's just a straight up dialogue the entire time, which I thought was pretty cool. That they
Yeah, it would have been cool if you had picked the other one, too.
Yeah, I was only told to
Interesting.
pick one.
Yeah, well, you only had to pick one, but I'm saying either one would have worked.
That's fair.
I just like the joke of him saying jokes is that like he's bombing, right?
Yeah.
Like there are all the parts where he like repeats stuff, and he's like, I mean, she looked awful. Trust me, she was in horrible pain and terror, or as my mom called it, a Tuesday.
Yeah, and then he like makes a
And
face
he's like,
waiting.
Tuesday, folks. She called it a Tuesday.
Or when he's like, I was on BoJack Horseman. No, seriously, hold your applause. And he's
No,
like,
good
good job.
job. Like he had some stingers that were like pretty solid, but it was just so like because you would think that the comedy would be thrown in to counteract the kind of just like brutal nature of the episode.
It's more or
but
less
they
there
don't.
to support it.
Yeah, exactly. It feeds into the cycle of it's just like, man,
It's not
and,
a
like,
distraction.
Also, what kind of person are you that this is what you have to do to process and like, you know.
All right.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Anything else you want to say to the good people of everywhere?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
About the show,
Where
or
he just like
in
shout
general.
outs. Shouts out like
Follow me on Instagram. Like me on Twitter.
Any like about the show or just me in general?
All right,
You
just
didn't
get out of
answer
here.
that.
You want to do
All right,
Doctor Who
well,
now?
let me
See ya.
Oh, you got something else?
Well, I got more about the show.
Yeah.
All right,
There's
we're
some
sticking
episodes
to
You
there.
never said
it.
you wanted to hear from me, man. All right. So one thing that really got to me at the end was basically he's going through this whole monologue and he references when his father died.
In
his
the duel?
mom was doing the eulogy, and one of the main things that she had to say was, "My husband is dead, and everything is worse now," which, when you think about it, and he goes through different flashbacks, they were an awful couple, and that just sort of goes back into the idea of even though someone could be an awful person, you can still hope that they get somewhat better, and that just really brought the whole idea home. And then at the end of the episode, he even says, "My mother's dead and everything is worse now." And then the last scene, the very last thing that he does, which I thought was like a real kick in the pants.
It's a real BoJack moment.
It really is.
In the pants.
He goes, maybe all she ever wanted was to just be seen, and he goes and opens up the casket and realizes that it isn't even her, and he's in the wrong
He's in, like, a
room.
frog funeral.
Room full of lizards.
Completely different funeral.
Yeah.
And that just like really shows that he couldn't even get that right.
But
he's that self-absorbed.
That interacts so well with it. Like, that is such a good payoff for the fact that it's basically a steady shot for 20 minutes and we don't have anything else. Because you forget, you're like, this is just the format. This is how it goes. Yeah. To then have the payoff be like, this whole time.
Yep.
If you looked out into the audience, he could have seen also, like...
Yeah, he's just too in his own head to even realize he's in the wrong room.
And he's like riffing.
Like I would love to have seen like how did he get up there? Like what, like did he just walk up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a good payoff for that.
Yeah. That's probably like my favorite episode of the last season.
I think that's a
Same.
very strong episode of TV.
It was a good pick, Billy. Thank you for picking it.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm real deep.
Yeah, you are.
Emotional stuff.
Thanks for being on the show
Anytime.
this week. Yeah,
Like
anytime.
next week.
Yeah, like next week.
Not doing. The
Yeah,
show
come
next
on
week.
next week, Billy.
Come on down.
Yeah,
Billy,
come on down.
You should show up.
Yeah.
I'll host the show.
I would love
How's
that.
it going,
If we just have a
everybody?
week where Billy's just sitting there
Just doing
describing
two mics.
movies.
Just keeps rolling. You can hear the chair rolling between two mics. It's just doing, not changing voices though.
Put on a one-man show.
It's like, so
For
this
all of
week we're
Burlington.
talking about Jurassic Park.
I watched like 2 of them. I don't think it was the first one or the newest one.
I've only seen Jurassic World.
Is
I'll
that,
only
wait,
talk
is
about
that true?
That's true. I
you
love
wanna
Chris
talk about-
Pratt.
I would love to talk about that with you.
Do you like when the dinosaurs talk?
Yeah, that's my favorite part. And then it just turns into Land Before Time. Remember that movie?
All right, Teddy, you
Yeah,
want to come
yeah,
on?
yeah, let's cycle it out.
That's
Okay.
Thank you, Billy, for being on the show. Round of applause. Thank you. All right, Teddy.
Hello, how's it going?
Hi, Teddy. What's your name?
What's your name?
Teddy?
Here, lean in.
Lean in
You're a little-
closer?
Yeah,
Can you
you're
hear
a little far.
Yeah, whisper.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, get it, yeah.
Don't
Okay,
whisper.
cool.
Just
I was specifically
normally say your
instructed to
name.
whisper though. Alright, my name is Teddy.
And what's your last name?
Yeah, what's
Kenyon.
your last, what's
Kenyon.
your what's
Oh,
your
wow.
phone number?
My you want my social too?
Yeah.
No, just phone
Just while
number.
you're at
Just
it.
phone number 802
Okay.
5 no.
Email address.
Read that phone number. No, don't read the phone number. I take that back.
I did want to do a call in. That'd be good though.
Who would call in?
Joe
That'd be
calling
pretty
from the
funny.
studio.
That's actually pretty funny.
Oh, man.
That'd just be baffling because you hear like
Yeah, just
You're
twice.
double. Yeah.
just a completely disorienting experience for anybody listening.
Because like one's super clean, the other one's through a phone.
Hold the phone up.
Just feedback.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for that.
Yeah, good job, Joe. So you picked
You
Doctor
like
Who.
TV? You don't like TV? How do
Yeah,
you
what's
feel
up with
about
that?
I like TV. I'd say I prefer movies overall.
All right.
No,
You're on the
we'll
wrong
take-
episode.
yeah.
it? Awesome.
I know you've
We
done
invite
like
you on.
you've done so many episodes before this about movies. So yeah, I chose Doctor Who. Chose the episode Blink.
More like Doctor Who.
Doctor what?
Cares.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Ooh.
Doctor who gives a rat's behind.
So I thought I was gonna be talking about the episode, but apparently the show
Nah.
is just you guys making fun of me for
It's-
picking.
I
Blink.
was planning on it.
That's
I
fair.
was-
No, actually, I should have.
The text he sent me was Teddy picked Blink, and I already made fun of him for how stupid that is.
You gotta,
Fair enough,
I think
fair
you
enough.
gotta be in a little more.
A little
So
more.
do you, Ben.
I don't
want
wanna,
to further away from it than he is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but I'm not the important one here.
That's fair.
That's true.
Also, I can project. It's the industry.
That's fair.
I know the
Jesus.
tips and tricks of the trade.
Yeah. Okay, so describe Doctor Who now.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, take us
Doctor
inside.
Who is about a time traveling alien. Who?
I'm gonna pause you
Okay.
right there.
All right.
Because I've seen the show,
Okay.
and in every iteration, it's a human.
I
It's
didn't know
not.
he was an alien.
He is an alien. If you watch the show at all,
I've seen a couple
will
episodes,
notice
and it's a human each time.
there. Okay. All right. So, do you understand the concept of acting?
How come he's
Okay.
not like green
I
or
get it.
nothing?
Don't
You get it.
Don't
Okay.
patronize.
All right. No, I'm
Come on.
patronizing because
No.
it's a human
I
and he's
understand.
pretending to be an alien.
Yeah, but they don't got no horns or like blue skin or
So
nothing.
he's like a con man?
It's a show about a con man.
Okay.
And he pretends to be an alien and just he's underneath
You
kids'
need
beds.
to straight man this at this point because
I already gave my 2 cents.
Okay. Because-
I'm just letting this roll.
Because as soon as Teddy starts agreeing with the false premise,
That's when it goes downhill.
Then there's no logical anchor for us to circle back to.
Yeah, there's
And it
no
just
way
becomes
to end that.
So, anyways, it's
So I need you to just bang your hand on the table really loud.
Stop.
Yeah.
Back to reality.
so he is a time traveling alien, and he takes humans along with him on adventures, and
He takes
they
them
do.
as lovers, no?
Is that what happened in the episode?
No. Actually, this episode. So the basic
Oh, boy.
formula of the show is that it's the Doctor, and he's this like universe traveling, really smart person who takes regular humans on these crazy adventures, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're such an incredible."
I feel like he's just talking about Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, Doctor Who is just a spoof on Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Yeah. But
It's a
then
serious take on
What's
Rick
a
and
ripoff
Morty.
of Battle Royale?
Jesus. And so every episode is they go to a new time or place, and they stumble upon. At first, everything's kind of like hunky dory, and then they stumble upon something crazy. Like there's some monster at the top of the spaceship they're in, controlling everybody, or there's like a giant fish underneath.
I got a quick question
things.
about this show.
All right.
Is like every episode the Doctor not the main character? Because in this one it's the girl
No,
from
that's
Drive.
Why this one's good.
That's why this one is because in this one the
Gotcha.
Doctor is definitely more of like the
Yeah,
spooky
it's a
mystical.
lot cooler than I thought it was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be.
yeah,
I thought it was
no.
just gonna be about the Doctor
This
doing
episode
things.
is actually very good, and part of it is because I don't have to hear him smugly explain time to me more than twice. Thought I could get out scot-free, but no.
Well, no, because this has the most famous line about time.
I
Wait,
What
Ben,
was that
do you
line?
wanna? Yeah, Ben, do you wanna
Yeah, give it to us.
tell me
okay.
what the line is?
Yeah, turn the mic. There it is. I hope the mic's picked up on that, because that's not going to be funny if somebody's listening. Like, what do they mean? What are they laughing at?
Time is a flat circle. You see, the time was created by death to grow the things that it would kill. And that's why my daughter's dead?
The Doctor is also played by a weird, confused mixture of Liam Neeson and Clint Eastwood.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying that what you just did.
That was
a
Matthew
weird-
McConaughey.
That was Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, he
sort
was
of
talking
a-
about
that was sort of
Interstellar,
a-
I think, right?
You gotta have this.
It's like a wormhole. You
Okay,
gotta
'cause
fold
at
a
first
piece of
I was
paper and
thinking
stick a
Clint
pencil.
Eastwood.
I was
Right.
actually doing True Detective, Matthew McConaughey, where he also talks about time as a nonlinear concept.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I completely missed.
Keep
that.
up,
Yeah,
Teddy.
we got real
Jesus.
deep with those references.
Yeah, that went real
Gotta
deep,
keep
real
up,
fast.
man.
Yeah, I feel like.
Come on, man.
I'm taking this back. There we go.
This is the worst episode we've ever done.
Absolutely.
I know
Well,
I say
yeah.
that a lot,
We say that pretty much every week.
but I feel
That's true.
But
This
now-
one's the messiest, but I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's going all
I
right.
don't know.
You
I
should've just-
but look at the lineup we have left. It's not gonna get better.
Yeah, we
I
peaked
feel like
with
Billie was
Billie.
your peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So Doctor Who,
Doctor Who.
It's been going on for like a million years.
Yeah, we're on the now I think we're on like the 12th season
Brit-
of...
It's been around since the 60s, right? Because I'm
Yes.
pretty sure like the first
Yeah.
episodes are
Time
black and white.
acquiring, I guess, spices and tea.
to feed his dying grandmother.
No, like
No?
he's like from like far flung reaches of the world. He like goes through time and like just takes their spices.
Doctor Who is about a time traveling alien. Okay.
We're back to that.
And this episode, okay, is a special episode because it kind of breaks away from the norm of the formula of the show. It starts with a character we've never met going into like an abandoned building, and then she sees these things written on the wall that's like duck, and she's like, that's odd, but she's like peeling off wallpaper, and underneath the wallpaper is more instructions, and it's like, yeah, you Sally Sparrow, duck now. And so she ducks, and then like something comes flying in through the window.
Got
and
a
she
lot
would've
of
been hit.
questions about that scene.
All right, go ahead.
It's like, why? How did they know that she was gonna rip the duck now, the final one, and when she did, and then the thing comes?
Did
through the
you?
window?
Did you?
I got the ending,
at
but I
the end,
still
yeah,
don't get why that they wrote it on the wall and how they knew she was gonna do that.
because it was her. She gave all that information.
Right.
It's the time loop thing of
and she knows what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
She knew that she would do that.
because she's already done it. So she knows. She gives the doctor in the end.
So
I
all
remember
the
that.
information he
That was
needs.
for the TV thing,
We
but
should clarify that there's a time loop. There's a
Yeah.
causality loop that occurs. This episode. That's the episode.
That's the
It's a-
episode.
it's
The
a
episode
causality
is that
loop,
yeah.
where a bunch of weird, unexplainable things happen. The statues kill people,
Mhm.
and the thing that they realize, the thing that they.
you can't do that, Joe. You can't do that while we're talking. Come on, go on.
And the thing that they realize is that these warnings were put in place ostensibly by the character experiencing them, but also, it's by the doctor.
Yeah.
But, like,
So
based
yeah,
on
in the
her
end,
information.
she gives him all the information he needs to go back in time and set up everything
Yeah.
for her to go through this process.
It's actually very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I remember being pretty surprised last night because I saw this episode in middle school.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's the only Doctor Who episode I've seen
Oh, okay.
besides the very first one. I watched 10 minutes of that.
Oh, the very
and
first.
I was
Yeah.
out.
No,
I
that's
could not
a rough
do it.
one to watch
Yeah.
unless you're very into British TV
I
shows.
figured.
But
Yeah.
I was telling Teddy this when I was watching it. I got a little bit of a vibe of a Black Mirror episode,
Mm-hmm.
just in sort of it starts out and we're just dropped in with a character, and we
Yeah.
sort of, the info is doled out to make us sort of figure out, okay, what's the situation? What are the rules of the situation?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think it progresses in kind of, it reminded me, I guess the one that comes to mind is the one where she's like a prisoner. The
Which
Black
one?
Mirror.
What season? Yeah. If it's 3, I
one or
likely.
two. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
White Bear? Oh, that's a great episode.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what came to mind for me.
I think
It's
White
because-
Bear is the
that-
one I
that
haven't
one-
seen because somebody was like, "Do not watch White Bear. White Bear is garbage."
Whoever
It's
told
just-
you that,
it's not
that's
true.
flat out wrong.
Okay. All right.
It's like my
I guess
favorite
I'll have to
episode
watch
of
that
Black
then.
Mirror. Who told you that? Don't say
Not-
it on air. That's
Oh,
not a
okay.
good idea, dude. Don't name drop anybody.
Can I give their title?
Yeah, sure.
Don't name drop on air.
Don't name drop on air.
Even
But
though
I
we
do.
Oh,
I
you've
met
name
Michael
dropped. You
Jackson.
name dropped. Yeah, it wasn't Michael Jackson, but I have.
I met Michael Jackson
when
last week.
Oh man.
I don't remember what we were talking about. I'm sorry.
Black Mirror. It's sort of. And
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I feel like it's sort of like it gave me a similar vibe of when I was really into The Next Generation earlier this year. Where
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
every episode is sort of like, here's like kind of a high concept premise that we explore, and it might be kind of a rudimentary exploration of it, but that's just because it did it well and it's been expanded on since. And there aren't really shows like that anymore, but then I'm like, oh yeah, isn't there going to be Twilight Zone?
There's gonna be a new Twilight Zone show.
Yeah.
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 Oh man.
Jordan Peele.
Mm-hmm.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I did not hear about
So
that.
that's going to be, I think, cool.
I bet you that's coming back only because people are like, dude, Black Mirror is the modern day
Absolutely.
Twilight
Yeah,
Zone.
yeah,
And
absolutely,
then,
yeah.
yeah. That's funny.
I hope that they do dumb ones, because there were dumb old Twilight Zones. They
Half
act like they
half
were
the
all
Twilight
great.
Zone episodes are like pretty bad, and they're just like,
Yeah.
there's aliens.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
but
on
I
an
want
alien
them to-
planet.
they're not. I want all the new ones to not just be smart, although I'm
Yeah.
sure they will be.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna
Yeah.
be like prestige
Yeah.
TV,
Mhm.
but like I want it to be like in this world. What if you had no nose?
yeah.
Consider.
And then there was a guy with a nose, and he just saw
Consider
everybody
in
without
the
the
world
nose.
Where,
I mean,
where
no crap.
in a world of noseless men, the one-nosed man is king.
Wasn't there a movie
Now you're
where
entering.
everything was black and white, and then
Schindler's
there's, like-
List.
yes,
The little
yeah.
pink coat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
No,
gonna
but
say The
I was
Giver.
no. The what?
The Giver?
You know,
I don't know.
Jeff Bridges. He
I
gives
don't know
people
this movie.
things.
Yeah, Jeff
Oh, okay.
Bridges.
That sounds like a
and
great
she's
movie.
Like, well then, Mr. Giver, we're gonna have to chase after this here criminal, this outlaw. And then he's like, I'm the Giver.
R.I.P.D.
I was doing
You were doing R.I.P.D. We all know. Because
Yeah.
everybody
yeah.
gets R.I.P.D.
True-
references.
True
That's
Give.
true.
I guess it would be True Give.
True Giver.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I've never seen True Grit, though. So
You've never seen True Grit?
Nah, dude. Sorry.
It's really good.
That's the
It's, like,
second
fantastic.
I
true.
know. I just watched the
show
new
you've
Coen
watched-
Brothers
you've
one. I was like,
mentioned.
I guess I gotta watch True Grit now.
True Grit's better than the new one.
Oh, I really liked the new one.
True Grit is better.
Fine.
I haven't seen the new one.
Dude, get out of town.
But it won a lot of awards.
It was nominated for a lot
Okay.
of awards.
But that doesn't
There's a
necessarily
difference.
mean that it's better.
Yeah, that's true.
Teddy
Crash won a
Sale
bunch of
won.
awards.
I'm just. All right.
Crash is great. It ended racism.
Oh boy.
Jeez. So
How
Doctor
did we
Who.
get here?
We're talking about Doctor Who. It's a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
episode. It reminded me of I love anything with the causality loops. Like there's some Futurama episodes that do it.
Yep.
There's the Harry Potter movie that does it.
Yep. Yeah.
There's,
Prisoner of Azkaban?
Yeah.
Go on.
There's Interstellar, which is that, but then also because it's Christopher Nolan, it's overwritten with a bunch of other weird
And
stuff.
Christopher Nolan's brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jonathan Nolan wrote the script.
and you can tell because he's one of the creators of Westworld, and that show also is usually good, but gets overwritten and gets lost in the weeds.
That's true.
It's love. Love is what connects us all.
It was love all along.
Yeah.
Love causes causality loops.
Yeah. Causality loops.
Causality loops. The thing that I really liked about this episode was the kind of introduction to the causality loop for the ending, where she's in the house with her friend Kathy, and then the man rings the doorbell, and he's like this weird creepy man, and then you find out that Kathy got touched by the angel and she went back in time, and you figure out the whole okay, the whole system works this way.
So all the angels do is just send you back 40 years or
But
something.
that's because they feed off of the lost time.
Yeah, they feed off of the time you would have had if you had not been touched by the angel.
So, but
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Question, though,
Okay,
about
cool.
About the causality loop, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's solved by the fact that we should do a time travel episode, by the way.
Probably. There's
that would solve
so
it.
much to
And
choose
it's
from,
so
though.
good. I love time travel movies. But
Yeah, like Time Bandits.
I've proposed doing a Time Bandits episode before.
Yeah.
But
treasure.
not a time. What?
That's my favorite time travel movie.
It's a timeless
But-
movie, though.
So
There we go.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter, but there's when the friend Kathy is sent back in time, it has to do that whole long con thing where you
Where she
grow
sends her-
old and
yeah.
send a letter to and have kids and whatever.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
But then how does she as a young person then exist? Wouldn't that erase her if
No, because she's still
she's
born into the world at the same time.
Yeah.
she's still born
Dies
once and
before.
gets sent back
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one time. She's
Because
not-
it's kind of like instead of this
It's
explanation
just
isn't
the end
going
of
to work
her
very well.
life cycle takes place
Before
earlier
she
in
is
time.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. It's like
enough.
have you ever seen or read A Wrinkle in Time?
Yes, I read it.
Yeah, you know when they explain the how you can basically teleport
Do it in
the
an
Wrinkle
Oprah
in
voice.
Time. No, because that movie was garbage.
Do it in a Chris Pine voice.
Yeah. Yeah, do a Chris Pine
Do-
voice.
yeah.
Dude, I can't do
Yeah.
my
Very
own voice
easy
right now.
impression to do.
I can't do my own voice. I'm sick.
Just
So
asking people
that's-
to
yeah.
do impressions of people with very normal voices.
But basically, it's
You
like
give
they
us a
have the
Josh
string.
Gad impression.
But she explains the Wrinkle in Time by holding the ant on the string in one hand, and then the other end of the string in the other hand, and then she brings them together,
As in
and then
Stranger
straightens them.
Things. Kind of. It's a different ant tightrope.
Well, yeah, because
Scenario.
on that there's the under thingy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the technical term.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's exactly. It's like that, but her lifespan goes
But
back
I mean,
in time.
alternate dimension is really just a technicality away from time travel in terms of movie internal.
Nah, dude,
logic.
the rules are completely different
Very
in alternate
different.
reality. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Well, because if you split off, if you go back in time and then encounter yourself
Okay.
and cause yourself to do something cause yourself to not go back in time, now there are two yous.
See, but
And then
I don't
is
think
there
you
now
can.
a timeline?
That's not how
where-
this
That-
works.
that
that's
also
not how.
absolutely is.
That's how
No.
alternate realities movies
Yes.
work.
This is
Not how
ab-
time travel
this
movies
is
work.
absolutely how it works.
No, because
Yeah,
okay.
in the alternate reality movies, not time travel.
If you ever watch a time travel movie in which they try to go back and they're like, "Hey, don't do this thing,"
Yeah.
that just drives the person to go do that thing.
yeah, it's like the
That's
inevitable
a
thing.
written thing. That's a writing conceit. That's like a dramatic.
I don't know.
a
I think it
dramatic
makes sense
irony.
in terms of time travel and such.
Yeah.
Like in the movie The Time Machine, his wife dies and then he builds a time machine to keep trying
Yeah.
to stop it, and then she just keeps dying the same day but different ways. And it's like you can't stop the inevitable.
Yeah.
But you,
No matter how much you try to bend that time.
if you, if you go back in time and do something.
Everybody's on their phone.
If you go back in time. No, I'm so right about this.
But you're very wrong.
I
That's the issue.
If you go back in time and change something,
Yes.
okay, something
Yeah.
can go.
It
one of
creates
two
a new
ways.
reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
An alternate one.
Yes. In
Cool.
time travel. No, you just because you didn't beat me.
Checkmate, man.
We're still but
Boom.
time travel. You
Finish
create-
your point.
there's
Finish
This
your
is
point.
this is why you
created-
absolutely should not do a time travel episode
you
because it
created
will just
two
be this
timelines.
again.
There are two timelines, and they're
Okay, but when there's two timelines, that means there's an alternate timeline, right?
yeah.
Jesus.
Okay. That's just alternate reality stuff.
But you
Right?
do that every time you travel in time and cause something.
Depends
to
on the
happen.
movie. Or TV show, in this case.
Yeah.
Well, I think it does no matter what. It's just whether or not they choose to interact with it.
Yes.
It's called like
Jeez.
it's a thing. It's like a bootstrapper.
You give us the
I know
you
what
give us
you're-
the
I know
term
what
and
you're
we'll
talking
accept
about.
whatever you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
It's called like
Bootstrap
a
Bill?
bootstrapper divergence.
Nope.
It
is not.
It cannot be it.
It absolutely. It's so
All right, bootstrapper divergence.
bootstrap paradox. Bootstrap something.
Oh,
Bootstrap
God.
Bill.
You're gonna be right.
I already made that joke.
Yeah, he
Bootstrap-
said that
bootstrap.
I
before
said
you,
bootstrap
man.
Bill.
I'm looking at bootstrap paradox.
Yeah.
I think that might just explain when you go back and cause yourself to do the thing that leads to you going.
What you're
back.
talking about
It's
is the like.
you want
when
me to
kill
read the
your
Google
grandfather thing.
definition?
Jeez.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sure.
It's the theoretical paradox of time travel that occurs when an object or piece of information sent back in time becomes trapped within an infinite cause-effect loop in which the item has no longer had a discernible point of origin and is said to be uncaused or self-created. Is that,
I think
is
that's-
that
which-
where are we
which
going
is-
with this?
That's if
That's
you think
the
about
thing
it,
that
that's
gets
what
thrown
happens.
at her when it's like duck. And
Yeah.
then
Yes.
it gets thrown
Yeah.
where it's seemingly of no origin.
Yeah.
That's just what that is.
Okay, cool.
All right.
That being said, I'm so right about this ultimate thing.
I,
But we're
I
not gonna.
genuinely don't even
I don't think anybody
No.
wants to hear us
Yeah.
argue about this any longer.
know.
I think
you ever
we
heard of this
Let's
great
do a-
little TV
let's-
show called Steven Universe?
Let's do this. Let's do this primer episode. Let's do a primer episode.
Oh God, that'd be horrible. We'd be like, so what happened in this movie? And be like, I don't know, I don't
Doesn't
know,
matter.
man. They got in a box and they
I'm
saw
supposed
themselves.
To be, I'm supposed to like it if I'm smart.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
So,
if you're
I
a
guess I
smart
like
film
it.
guy, Primer's the movie for you. Dude, half the movie doesn't even happen in the movie. That's the point.
All right.
All right, so we go with Doctor Who.
I thought that it was very, very good.
It
As
was-
much
yeah.
as I
Yeah.
hate
It's
Doctor
a,
Who.
it's like a meme now, right? Doctor Who
I
and
just
like
find it
this
unbearable.
episode.
just
I think
find
it's less of
people
a
who talk
meme.
about it
It's just
unbearable.
there's
fan
just such
base.
a big fandom that people are just so mad at them. It's,
Yeah,
Tumblr
that's
got a
fair.
hold of it, and everyone was like,
we know
"All
what
right,
happens
never
when
mind."
Tumblr gets a hold of something.
Exactly. I don't know. And then the angels from Blink became like that, and the Daleks became like the staple of you wear this or have something like this to show that you like Doctor Who.
I think
Gotcha.
that
Like
the
that.
angels are a great horror thing because they're like, they move when you're not looking at them,
Mhm.
which is like an essential fear of
Yeah.
like, is there
Anything.
something
Yeah.
right out of my vision or whatever?
Mhm.
And then obviously then there's the layer of, but if you blink, they can come at you, and you're like, oh, but how do I not blink? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that seems so
Yeah.
difficult. So I think that it's really, that's just a very well designed
I like the yeah.
horror antagonist.
Yeah, no, it creates like something to fear.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
like how in the end the solution is just squat.
I found that
Yeah.
to be not awesome.
Yeah.
I also found the very, very end, like the post credit, like the.
What was the
Oh,
post credits?
where the doctor is just like
it wasn't actually
it's showing a
post-credit.
bunch
It-
of statues and the doctor.
Oh, I hated that. I
Yeah.
didn't get
To
why
be
they
on
showed
the
those.
lookout
What
for
was
other
this?
statues.
What was the significance of the other statues?
It was they needed 30 more seconds of an episode, and they were like, "Oh,
That's
let's
it?
pretend that these are real." Probably. I mean, I can't imagine like
Well, no, it was supposed to set up like, but that the threat isn't over. They're still out there. But
Any
the thing that
statue
bothered
could
me,
be
it
the
was,
statue?
It wasn't saying it through dialogue or through scene. It was just it told.
it was
us.
just straight up.
Yeah.
It told the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah, I didn't
You
get
can't
that.
do that.
I remember being really confused. And be like, so wait, are all the statues the things?
It did
or-
imply that every single statue in existence was a
Ever.
weeping angel.
Yeah, right. Like
But
if
that's
you look away from any
obviously-
statue,
I feel like that takes out a lot of the fear because like there's some level of fear from horror things that's like, and that could like, it's not real.
And it's still happening
like,
today.
Yeah, exactly.
That,
and,
I think
and
that
it
was
a
what they
true
were
story.
going for.
But it's so clearly not.
Yeah, it's just like
One more note on when you were talking about how you didn't like the fact that they're looking at each other being like how you trick them into stopping moving.
Oh no, that's fine. It's just they just squat.
They just but no, the TARDIS, the angels are surrounding the TARDIS and they're like looking at each other, and then the TARDIS disappears.
The TARDIS is the phone booth.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Go on.
And then the TARDIS disappears, and so now they're stuck looking at each other, and that is the classic little bit of Doctor Who still thrown in there, even though this episode is so different from the rest of it, where it's just like this clever, almost like dumb childlike way to resolve things, but he like that's how it works.
Okay,
hate
gotcha.
That part.
That's
I don't hate it. I just think it's kind of funny. They're like, oh, we just gotta squat. We just gotta get down. Also, another quick question. So later in the episode, they see Doctor Who with like a bow and arrow and some other.
He's not Doctor Who.
Whatever. Just stop. No more technicalities about Doctor
Though
Who.
if you watch the show, he is Doctor Who. That's his name. But continue.
Wait, then what was Ben saying?
Isn't he not?
No, he is.
God.
He's the doctor.
He is the Doctor, but if later, very recently, they reveal that this is total spoilers for the show and ridiculous, but continue.
His name is who?
He chose his name to be Doctor Who because there's the
Like
master goes through this whole thing.
Wow.
It's totally
All right. Either way, when they see that, when she gives Doctor Who the transcript at the end,
Yeah.
is that from a previous episode or a future one?
Neither. It's
It's
just a fun
never-
little tidbit that they're like, okay, he's on some adventure,
And it's never brought up again?
It's never brought up
I
again.
love
It's
that.
also
I
that
love
was
that.
good.
Yeah.
I like that. I was telling Teddy, I wish it was almost more of a bittersweet thing where she's like, hey, I need closure to prove I'm not a crazy person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, please, you're such a huge deal to me. And, like, he's like, I don't know who you are. I'm sorry.
He says that, but then he's like, but I could be anywhere at any time.
Yeah,
So
he's
I
like,
get
"Oh,
it.
I'll take and I get that
Yeah.
he has to then take the thing to
Yeah,
complete
yeah,
the
yeah.
loop, so you need there to be interaction. But I do like the idea of him being like, sorry, man, like I'm not on
Yeah.
your level of consciousness.
Yeah.
That makes
yeah.
that scene a lot better now that I know it's just not from another episode.
Yeah, it's just
That's
they do
cool.
that a lot throughout the show where they
also-
Okay.
like mention random adventures they've had that they just haven't shown
My
on
other
TV.
Gotcha.
only solid observation was that I like that because I bet it was set in a DVD store to contrast really heavily
Yep.
to be like this is the essence of like modernity is like this DVD store, but now it's like
It's like
a DVD store doesn't exist anymore.
yeah, like if
Uh-huh.
today they were like, oh yeah, the essence of modern like situations is I'm in a Blockbuster,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like that sort of thing.
It would be
Gotcha.
like- so I don't get it. They're time traveling between 2007
And
but they've never been in
1969.
the present. Like what's
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. It's a good show. I mean, it's a good episode. I don't know about the show. But
All right.
that was Doctor Who was one of the first things that I like vocally bashed on. Like,
Ever?
probably yeah.
Wow.
In the way that I do now, I think was the first thing that I was
okay.
like, I need to not like this.
Yeah, you'll seem intelligent if you don't like it.
That's
Yeah,
what-
yeah,
Because
yeah.
exactly. Because if people like something, if enough people like something,
Something wrong with it.
Yeah.
or the only way to be better than them is to be like, I don't like it.
Yeah, I've actually never seen an episode of Rick and Morty, so
So I'm better than you.
yeah, sorry everybody else.
All right.
All right, we switching off to all right. No more Doctor Who, and now it's Dr. Steven Universe, Dr. Steve Brule.
Now it's we're talking about Dr. Steve Brule. What is that? What you got over there?
311 greatest hits.
Oh yeah. Whoa.
Finger 11, greatest hits.
Amber is the color of your energy. Whoa. Something.
I don't know that one.
It's
Amber. It's on the front cover.
Thank you.
It's in the top.
311
Oh,
also has
I
a song
see.
that's like na 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 the Giovanna.
Oh man.
They also have that song that's like, I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend.
That's them?
No.
Oh. I don't know who that's by.
Third Eye
Good.
Blind.
I see.
You guys ever listen to Alter Bridge?
So what was?
And that's the show, folks.
So Anya, describe to us what Steven Universe is, because having seen only this episode, I'm pretty confused.
I also know that
Okay.
there's a lot of cosmology.
So I'm going to give a very basic review with minor spoilers because there are people in this room who either want to watch it or are watching it and don't know certain
You,
things.
you can go ahead with full spoilers. I don't care.
I'm talking mostly about Teddy.
He doesn't care. Just go for it.
I know he doesn't care. I care though. So very basic plot of Steven Universe is there is this race of aliens called the Gems, and their whole shtick is they go and they take over worlds in order to produce more gems because they're like a rock-based alien race. And they were going to take over Earth, but a quartz gem named Rose Quartz didn't like that, and so she incited a rebellion, and she was the leader of it, and everyone feared her. And they won at great cost, so the result was only 4 gems were left on Earth. And then
She's almost there are people probably who don't like her, but she's like entirely good, right?
actually no, it's very questionable whether she's good or not. A
So
big
she's
part
like
of
the
the
Robert Baratheon of.
yeah, a big part of the show is questioning whether or not she was actually a good person.
Oh, okay, cool.
But so we skip to modern day because this was happening like thousands of years ago. She meets Steven's dad. They fall in love and have Steven, but in order for Steven to exist, Rose Quartz essentially has to die. So Steven has never met her, has to live in her shadow essentially, doesn't know if she's a good person or not, even though everyone's telling him that she was amazing and wonderful and all this stuff. And so he's raised by the other 3 gems that are left on the planet. The gem is an all-female race. So he essentially has 3 moms right now, and it's great. And it's just about him developing and figuring out his life. And there's some plot and good plot, but a lot of the episodes are like the one that I had you guys watch, which is just about him figuring things out.
So who was the girl he conjoins with?
So that's Connie, his human friend. They're best buds, and she joins them in fights. She's learning how to use the sword from Pearl, who is one of the gems.
Okay.
And a gem ability is to fuse, and typically they cannot fuse with humans, but because Steven is half human, he has the ability to. So he and
Can
Connie
you fuse with anybody? Like any other human?
Yeah, he could. I mean, so fusion is kind of used as an allegory for a lot of different things. One of the main things, though, is like sex. So the whole idea of fusing with anyone, you have to make sure you have their consent first. That's the thing. There's a whole arc of one of the gems did not use consent, and it was a big deal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a great show. I love this show.
That's pretty good.
So, because it is a kids show, I feel like it's safe to say each episode has a little more of a message, like a takeaway.
Yeah,
Although
yeah.
I'm sure not all of them.
I mean, there are arcs, so things will end without necessarily being resolved because not every episode is wrapped neatly into a bubble.
Yeah.
But this one was.
This one was sort of,
Yeah.
If you think about it after the fact, it's okay to
No.
hit
That was
another
not the
kid.
message.
You can hit another kid.
That was not the
And
message.
What happens.
No.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you got to grapple with that, but
As long as you feel bad about it at
if you
one
feel
point.
bad, then you can, I guess, have sex with anyone you
No!
want. That's how it is to be believed.
No! Ben, please. Okay. I'm going to give a very quick rundown of this episode before Ben says more bad things. So in this episode, Steven and Connie are
I'm waiting.
combat training with Pearl and Garnet, who's another one of the gems.
What's their conjoined name?
Stevani.
Stevani. Yeah, that's it. I was so confused, and they're like, become Stevani. I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I was debating whether or not to choose this one because you do have to have sort of a baseline knowledge, but I felt like it was still clear
Yeah,
enough.
I still
that-
got it, yeah.
I like that they merge into the ideal better, because the version is better than either one of them.
Yeah.
Is just really androgynous because
Yeah.
obviously
There's-
and it's but that's the
Yeah, there's an episode where Stevani has to shave because she's growing stubble. It's great.
that'd be so lame if they combined and it was just a dude.
Yeah, right?
And the point of fusion also is that you straight up make a new person.
Yeah,
it's not supposed
you're
to
not
be
in there piloting it.
No,
you're-
it's
It's
a
not
person
like Pacific
who's,
Rim.
That's
Yeah.
really weird.
It's a person who's aware that they're made up of two people,
What
but
happens to your consciousness then? Where do you go? Do you go to the sunken place?
so. This is a bit of a spoiler, but Garnet herself is a fusion of two different gems.
Whoa! The whole time?
Yeah, and they're in a relationship, they're in love, and the way she describes it to anyone who asks is it's a sort of conversation between two people. She represents their relationship and who they are together. So she is parts of them, but the parts make up a bigger whole. It's a great concept. I love it.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, do they think in there?
They don't.
They're gone, but a new person.
There are episodes where, like in this episode, for example, Steven and Connie end up splitting because Connie is so upset.
She's like,
You can't stay a fusion if you're not in balance. So if one member of the fusion is freaking out, like in this episode, then you're not stable.
You're never gonna be like subsumed in something because it's purely a thing that it wouldn't exist if you weren't perfectly on the wavelength.
Yeah, exactly. But so in this episode, they're doing combat training, and Connie is clearly upset, but she's not really saying why. And then they fuse, and things seem to be going okay, and then suddenly Stevani has like a panic attack and is freaking out, and no one really knows why she's freaking out because nobody knows why Connie was upset. And so they split up, and Steven's like, well, I feel bad things sometimes, but maybe you should just shove them down and not feel those things.
Wait, I actually wrote down, sometimes you hurt people and you just have to forget about it, is like his initial advice.
Yeah.
That like is obviously going to be correct,
Yep.
but I'm like, yikes.
And then Garnet immediately is like, oh no, hold on.
Her line, which is actually fantastic, is hold the phone. Now give the phone.
So then she teaches Steven and Connie, well, Stevani, because she has them fused back together, about meditation, essentially. It's a whole wonderful song that essentially boils down to, it's okay to be upset, but, I'm always here for you. Everything's going to be all right. You need to feel things if you want to get over them.
Gotta smack a kid back in line. A fellow kid. Sometimes, kabam! It doesn't have to be a huge thing, just asserting yourself.
If they brush your shoulder in the hallway, you flip them.
You gotta,
I think it's implied that she broke his arm too, because at the end she shows a picture of the two of them together and his arm is in a cast.
Yeah, I thought that too.
When you see her kind of having her inner battles, and it manifests as like these like goons.
Yeah.
That just they're just like. They're just like guys with like muscle shirts and like,
generic looking dudes.
They're just like evil goons.
Are you talking about during the second half where
I think so.
Those are characters. Those are people that he has interacted with, people that he has essentially hurt because he's trying to do his job as defending Earth.
I thought that was like
imaginary.
Yeah, like imagery, conjured imagery from the subconscious.
Yeah, no. So his whole thing is that he hates violence. Like his power, each gem has like a power, and his is that he has a shield, because he because he prefers.
I know that's the point.
Yeah, the point is that it's kind of lame on our level, and Connie gets his mom's sword, and she's the one who uses the sword as opposed to him. But yeah, so his whole thing at the end is they figure it out, and Connie's happy, and then Steven has to think about the fact that he's hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, doesn't one of the kids in Narnia get like a horn?
Yeah, that's Susan.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, she also got a bow and arrow, but then her little sister got like a potion that literally heals death. So
I wouldn't want to get that one though. That's the thing that's why kids are dumb. Is because when I watched that movie, I was like, no man, I want the sword. Absolutely, I would have been disappointed if I got a non-weapon as my gift from
giving
Santa?
life to something.
Did Edmund get anything?
No, because he was bad.
Oh.
Because he's a.
Is this Lion Witch in the Wardrobe we're talking about, or like Prince Caspian or the other
Lion
one?
Witch and Wardrobe.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
It gets like a potion that, like, I'd be the dude who they're like, which of the Deathly Hallows do you want? And I would be like, wand! And they're like, that, like, bad stuff happens to everyone. I'm like, give me the most powerful wand!
So here's how we learn that Ben would never be the main character, but rather the character that gets mentioned offhand because he's killed because he
No.
wants to.
Yeah,
Really
he's like the
powerful-
side character who had like a really bad idea but goes
Yeah.
through with it and dies early on. So the whole crew's like, we can't do that.
I
Like
think-
like Sam Rockwell in Galaxy Quest.
Exactly.
I'm like the guy who had to start is like, we just gotta make a run for it, man. And then I run, and that's how you learn that there are like laser walls
Exactly.
that cut you up.
Exactly.
You can stay. I'm out of here. No, don't.
Yes.
Oh man.
But yeah, Steven Universe. I mean, it's only a 12-minute episode, so
It is very-
Like
it's a
2
lot
minutes
shorter.
per song.
yeah.
That's true.
Just like a lot of
It was at like a breakneck pace too. It was like
it's good though.
quick.
It
I had to keep up. I had to pause and rewind a couple times.
It had some real good lines though. Just like a lot of things where it says something and you expect it to resolve one way, but then it doesn't, so it's funny. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. She says something when she's like brandishing swords. That's the tall one, the real waspy one.
Waspy.
Do you mean Pearl?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. She says she has some good lines.
I'm guessing you mean her holograms because she wasn't actually.
Oh.
It's more complicated. It's harder than trying to explain Infinity War. To somebody who's never seen a Marvel movie, there is so much. It's the Silmarillion.
I feel like Infinity War is pretty easy to explain.
I actually agree.
Explain
Yeah.
it right now.
Okay.
Space alien wants 6 gems so he can have control over the universe.
What happens at the end?
Don't say what happens at the end.
Oh, sorry, Billy. He still hasn't seen it, and he heard about the trailer. Hey, he heard about the trailer today. He's like, I don't want to watch it. Should I? I'm like, don't, please.
You know everything that happens.
He knows
though,
that. He knows
right?
what happens to Peter Parker.
Well, like,
That's not everything.
but like, how do you not? How has it not trickled down to you in other way? Like, just through passing.
I'm really good at hiding from the outside world. Just closing myself in and not leaving my room for days.
He has like a protective shell
No
that.
wonder they picked Bojack.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
But don't worry, it'll be on Netflix by the end of the month. I told him, so he's got that much time to avoid the trailer.
Before Disney launches Disney Go,
Disney
our
XD.
proprietary
Yeah.
streaming software.
Disney X.
Yeah, it's gonna.
They're just revamping Disney XD but making it a streaming service.
Yeah.
What did
I can't wait to watch more like Rugrats all grown up.
No.
That's Nickelodeon, dude.
My bad. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a life. Sorry. I don't know all these things. Sorry, I don't spend all day watching Rugrats all
Cartoons
grown
about
up, like,
babies.
yeah. Well, even if they are now teenagers.
They're still babies.
Did they ever have sex in that show?
I'm pretty-
No.
Presumably not, right? You
Which
never
one would
saw
do it?
Tommy Pickles. for
Yeah, but
sure.
with who?
I mean,
You gonna say Angelica?
no, aren't they brother and sister?
No.
No.
I think they might be.
I think they might be cousins. Yeah.
I mean, that's legal in some states.
It depends on which state they're doing it in.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you right now, not Chucky. That guy, that guy's getting nothing.
No, dude, that's the thing about the episode. He's the one who gets it, and nobody else does.
It's like a super bad situation.
Yeah.
God.
Good God.
It's like, that one's for you, Mom.
Whoa.
I feel like this is what happens when I try to bring something like wholesome and good to this show.
I
It just
need to
gets
counterbalance
corrupted.
it. I feel like Chucky grows up and has sex and his mom is dead.
Yeah, Anya comes on here with like a show that has like a moral, a story, like a lesson to be learned. And you're like, yeah, dude, what happens if the Rugrats had sex?
I think about weird stuff, you know?
Do you think about that a lot?
No, I was gonna as if it's like a. I don't.
Should I be worried?
No,
Elaborate.
this is as if it's like a hack bit where you're like, you know, I think about weird stuff like, what if E.T. and Mr. T had a kid? I wonder what that would sound. You know, like that kind of a thing.
I don't know what that kind
Like
of
a
thing is.
like a crappy setup for a joke. Where, you know, when people are like, you know, I think about weird stuff.
Oh, like with stand up?
Yeah.
Like what you do?
Yeah, but like a
Okay.
bad, like a bad one.
Yeah, like what you do.
No. I feel like we're on like we're so close to being on the same page. But just, it's going.
It's weird because seeing your stand up.
Keep missing again. It keeps something's not right here. Maybe I'm a bad interviewer. I don't know. Something's not gelling here.
Your jokes.
Okay. Well, there's no need to that actually really hurt. I actually, if we can take a moment to get serious.
Like in the show that I want to
If
talk
we can
about.
take a moment to get serious, I really have a very thin skin when it comes to these things, and that last one actually was a little bit too far. I'm kind of feeling bad about it right now. Had a couple losses in the family this year also, which makes it particularly difficult.
Come on.
During this time.
How many? I only know of the one.
Yeah, well, that's still bad. Sorry, one. That's tragic enough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And scene, please. Good lord.
Oh my god. This is the most eventful industry
Jeez.
professionals we've had in a while. Or
Probably
ever.
because you have 6 people in this room.
Yeah, that's
exhausting.
probably it. Yeah.
I'm like emotionally drained.
Yeah, and we're getting to Joe next.
What time?
Oh, I love Joe's
Don't
episode.
rub your hands like that.
It is 4:14.
Yeah. Can you talk about this for another few minutes?
Sorry, I got a text from somebody.
Oh, yeah,
who was
yeah.
really not
Just-
okay with what I said about the Rugrats.
Wait, really?
This is my time to shine.
All right.
Oh,
I
am
I guess Joe's asserting himself.
Yes,
Unless
I'm-
do you have
Oh,
any? Do you have
okay.
any?
I mean, I guess not really. I think it's a really good show. Ultimately, I feel like it's a good, wholesome, fluffy show.
I think I've seen 4 episodes.
Yeah, I make you watch them sometimes.
Yeah, and this one is good. The one with the Pearl has like a lion.
Right. I showed you that clip in the screenwriting
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
No, that's Steven's lion named Lion.
Yeah, that one was really good.
Quick question.
Yes.
This is related to Uncle Grandpa. I saw in one of the thumbnails of season 3.
Okay. Never watched that episode. It is not a real episode. Uncle Grandpa is a show on
no.
Cartoon Network that's actually awful, and it's like
Is it like
so
an
bad.
Italian episode?
And yeah, they essentially
Isn't
did
he
a
tied into a bunch of shows?
yeah, no, it
Or
was
is
like
that-
a haha Uncle Grandpa's in Steven Universe now. I was like,
He's the uncle, Grandpa.
why? It's one.
Which one is it?
It's literally has nothing to do with any of the other episodes. It's never brought up again. It is just like in this weird pocket dimension.
It's just like a
where-
bad episode.
Yeah.
That was
don't-
clearly there for cross promotion so people would watch Steven Universe.
A real Star Wars.
yeah, that's what that was.
A real Star Wars holiday special situation.
Ugh.
Yeah. Why didn't you choose the Star Wars Holiday Special? That was
Yeah.
on TV.
That's what I would have picked.
Yeah,
if
dude,
I
it's the
got
thing
one.
that George Lucas buried. He bought
good
every
reason.
copy of it and then didn't release
Along
it,
with
yeah.
the body of Jar Jar Binks.
Woo!
No, he keeps that around.
He keeps it around.
He keeps that around.
Yeah.
You think he got rid of? He loves Jar Jar Binks.
Do you think the guy who played Jar Jar Binks still has
Ahmed
like
Best?
yeah? You think he still has the costume, like the ears and
No,
the stilts?
he made. There's the interview where it's really sad.
That is a
Where he's
sad
like, I really
interview.
just wanted to make people laugh.
Yeah, he's like
And
I put a
I'm
lot of
hated by
myself into this
everyone.
character.
Like,
It's a
this
voice
was
I
a
make with
voice
my
that I did
with my
for, like-
nephew,
for,
and
like,
he found it
kids, and
hilarious.
They had a really good time, and I just wanted to make people smile, and everyone on Earth hates me. And that it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm at best. Come on the show.
I would love to have Ahmed Best come on the show. I know he listens.
He texted me. He was like, "Hey man, what you said about Tommy Pickles."
I don't know if I'm ever gonna come on the show after that Rugrats comment.
To be clear, I'm not talking about the Rugrats at the age that they are. I'm talking about them in the all grown up timeline.
They're still teenagers.
They're still,
That's
dude.
still illegal.
But
yeah, they're
there's
still
movies-
underage.
But there's movies about that.
About Tommy Pickles.
No, about people who are not like Superbad. How old are the people in Superbad?
They're all 18, senior year of high school.
That's what they are in.
No, they're
No,
not. They're
they're
like
like-
freshmen.
Ruh-roh.
They're like
you could also
14.
be like, Ben. You could literally just be like, "Call me by your name," like something.
Woohoo. Yikes. This one's no good.
Okay, I'm gonna leave so that Joe can come on now.
Yeah, so we can get a quick
So that we
distraction
can
from
stop
your
talking about
Rugrats
this.
gross fetish.
I wasn't saying I enjoyed the imagery. if anything,
Oh my god.
What's up, everybody?
oh my.
I just want to start off. Hey, everyone. My name's Joe.
We've said your first and last name on the show, so it's only appropriate if you say my name is. What's your last name?
My name's Joe Jackson, and and I just want to say,
This is.
this
Really, I mean, it is our worst episode. It's so fast and loose. Like, it's just.
You're both off your game right now, and I got you right where I want you. So, I just want to start off by saying thank you to my good friends Ben and Dan. And as a token of my appreciation for bringing me on the show, I brought you some bagels. I found this bag of 3 bagels yesterday. I was walking through the Davis Center because I go to UVM. Go Catamounts, whoop whoop. And I found 3 bagels, and I was like, what am I going to do with these 3 bagels? I don't know how old they are. And then I said, oh, you know what? There'll be 3 people in that studio on Friday.
Joe just wipes away some of the sweat on his brow, and the notes that he has, the comedic beats that he has written out on his palm, just smudge. He's like, oh, what's that? Go Catamounts already said.
Here you go, Dan. Here's a bagel.
Thanks for the bagel.
Yeah, so I didn't
It's so
realize there was going to be
soft.
3 other people in the room.
We could just rip them in half.
You guys can go get your own
Yeah,
bagels.
let's just eat on mic. That sounds really
I mean,
good.
that's
smell
what I
really
was
bad.
thinking. I've been planning this one for a while.
That is, it is sour.
It's a store-bought bagel
That
that's
is
gone
sour
bad.
bagel.
He took a bite.
Do not do this.
Don't chew on the mic.
This is the worst 2 hours of radio ever made. This now.
We should have seen this coming. We should have seen Joe wouldn't talk about whatever it is
We
he's told to
literally-
talk
we
about.
literally
He would
talked
just eat
about-
bagels.
For the record, we were like, it was like week 3 of the show. We were like,
Yeah,
let's
that's
get
fair.
Joe on, and then it petered out, and I was like, that's a.
It was like, we can't have Joe on the show because we'll outnumber him, but we'll somehow still be bullied.
I literally said he would somehow overpower us.
Seriously, I'm a guest. Can I?
I did swallow first. So okay, and then stick out your tongue. Let me see. No. Let's say ah. I'm not going to because it smells musty.
Is it good?
Fine to me. Tastes like a bagel. I took a really big bite. I apologize, everybody. I'm still working on it.
Don't do that.
It's pretty funny too because the episode
That's
of
funny to us,
TV
but, like,
that Joe picked is like pretty out there.
Food themed.
Exactly.
That's
You brought
right.
bagels in, and the
I got
people
a
in that
theme.
are crazy, and Joe's acting like a crazy person.
I brought bagels, obviously. The real reason is that we're doing an episode of Kitchen Nightmares where bagels made a kitchen.
Yeah.
And
These were made in a factory.
some quality bagels. So yeah, I picked Kitchen Nightmares.
Which episode?
It's the season 5 finale, known as Amy's Baking Company.
I feel like it's probably
ABC.
the most well-known episode. Like, if you've seen one episode on YouTube of Kitchen Nightmares, it's probably this one.
Yeah.
Because it like, got viral or
Yeah, it's
whatever.
very popular.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They did a return in the next season because
Yeah,
of
which
how
I kind
popular
of
it is.
don't love.
Yeah, it
Because
was
it's like
awful.
you shouldn't give those people... Like,
Yeah.
Like, you're providing a service when you go to a place that's bad and fixing it.
Uh-huh.
And I think that they were wrong to give them another chance
Yeah.
and give them more publicity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, Gordon Ramsay walks out on these people at the end of the episode because he can't save their restaurant. Has that happened in another episode?
That
think
as of that episode, it was the first time
Yeah.
ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Alright.
know if that happens again,
Well,
but
if anybody knows of any other times that's happened in the last 6 years since this episode
It's like
came
the
out.
first episode of House where the patient dies, and you're like, wow, like, House, he's not a superpower.
I didn't think it would end like this.
Yeah. Hey,
I've never seen House.
and then Gordon Ramsay just like takes a bunch of Vicodin.
walks away
So,
with a little
Kitchen
cane.
Nightmares, for those of you that don't know, it's the show.
Yeah, what's the
How
premise?
dare you try to refocus us?
Somebody's got to do it in here. You guys are off the walls right now. I'm trying to have a productive conversation. You guys are slinging bagels around the stew. I don't even know what's
You're
going
not even
on.
supposed to have food in here.
Yeah, no.
Sorry to the producers that are listening in the next room over.
We don't have
We don't have producers. They're just programmers.
Hey,
and that's
producer
me.
man, is it okay if I eat this bagel? All right, there you go. Green light. And so, anyways, Kitchen Nightmares. It's the show. Gordon Ramsay. He's a chef from
Thank you, chef.
England. And
Thank you, chef.
Yes, chef.
Yes,
Thank you,
chef. Thank you, chef.
And he's an industry professional. Am I right, boys?
Yep, I've met him.
And
My name is Chef.
Did you really?
Yeah, my name is Chef John Favreau.
So food truck, Twitter.
Freewheeling Association.
So Gordon Ramsay goes to these
Let's just talk about
restaurants.
chef.
Goes to failing restaurants. And
We all know the premise of Kitchen.
well,
I'm sorry,
not
everybody
everybody
else
else
had
does.
to give their premise. I'm just keeping things equal here. And so, Kitchen Nightmares. Gordon Ramsay goes to failing restaurants, turns them around, usually spruces them up a little bit, remodels the whole place in one night. I don't know how he does it. And usually, everything gets back on track, and he teaches them how to have a good restaurant. But the thing is, most people on the show are incredibly dense and like unwilling to change, even though like they literally called Gordon Ramsay and they're like, "Hey man, what we're doing isn't working."
Yes.
In this one, it's pretty apparent. They're like, yeah, you're supposed to come on here and tell everybody that our food is good. Like,
Yeah.
that's what they
Yeah.
thought he was going to
that's
do.
so that's my first note is because I've seen a decent amount of this show.
Yeah.
My first note is how do all of these guys, when Gordon Ramsay walks in, still manage to think, oh, but he's gonna like this.
Yeah.
Well, initially he does in this one, which is the crazy part.
Yeah,
he
he
likes
likes the
the cake,
cake.
and he
Yeah.
likes how organized the kitchen is. Like, the kitchen is spotless. It's very clean, and things are labeled. There's dates. They're put where they should be.
And like a lot of times it's like
And a lot
it's
of times
gross and
there's bugs,
unsanitary
it's-
and, like, it's
there's,
but
like,
it's just,
week-old veal.
Because the thing I realized is I'm like, if Gordon Ramsay comes through to my place, I would surrender, right? Like I would immediately be
Yeah.
like, okay, my stuff's bad, let's get to it, instead of having to all these guys, and maybe it's just because it's the format of the show, so the producers kind of make them do it, but like they all go through the dog and pony show of like, all my stuff's great, and then it turns out it's not. Like I would
Yeah.
surrender and at least save a little bit of face.
No, yeah, and also, but on the note about what the kitchens usually look like, yeah, so Kitchen Nightmares usually goes into the kitchen and he's like, "Oh my God, it's a nightmare."
Yeah.
So that's Gordon Ramsay for you.
Yes, that was a good one.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Sure.
That was
Thanks.
accurate.
Been working on it for a while.
All night, ever since you found out you were going to be on this show talking about kitchen nightmares.
Yeah, Dan asked me to pick an episode of TV probably 3 days ago, and four days
5.
ago, 5.
Yeah.
Probably Monday, Sunday,
I'm saying Monday, Sunday is definitely when I did it.
November. It's whatever. And I just settled on this one at like 11 o'clock last night. I spent most of the week dodging Dan's questions.
So I have a question about the husband, Sammy.
Sammy.
Because
Sammy.
I'm the
while
gangster.
I think that the wife is worse in many ways, I think that they are both.
I think they're both just
I
as
think
toxic.
that they're both exactly. Because
time.
she's delusional, but he enables the delusion intentionally.
He enables it so hard.
And like you can tell that that's how little this dude thinks about his wife. That he would like.
yeah.
I get this guy's in organized crime, right?
Oh yeah, he
They mentioned
so
that.
There's a
he
news
says,
article.
I'm the gangster, not
I'm
you.
the
He
gangster.
does. They sell
But I-
T-shirts.
Yeah,
with
they
that
now sell
catchphrase.
T-shirts of that.
Well, now, they now sell nothing because they're
Capitalism
closed.
is a virus, dude.
Yeah.
This episode and everything attached to it is a sickness.
Would you rather have a shirt that says "I'm the gangster, not you," or a shirt that says "May the Force be with you"?
Ooh.
I think it depends because
Who's the audience?
Yeah, probably I'm the gang. Ugh.
Yeah,
Both- 'cause-
stick to one side.
You can't be. Nobody can give you the benefit of the doubt either way. You know what I mean? There's no generous assumption that you can make. So I would say I'll take the gangster shirt.
I would take the shirt that you can also or could also buy at Amy's Baking Company before they closed their doors, like less than 2 years after this episode came out. They had another shirt that said, "I speak feline, meow," because that's a thing
Oh,
that Amy
God.
says at one point during this episode.
That part's so
I like
weird.
that. Yeah,
I
because-
hate that part.
They have 3 little boys boys that are trapped in cat bodies. That's what they tell
that
Gordon
was
when he asks
so
about their
Yeah,
family.
Yeah, that's horrifying. You could just say we have 3 cats, and even that would
they're
actually
little
be a little
boys.
bit weird. But
It'd be weird, but it's like, all right, you own pets.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, we have 3 boys that are trapped in cats'
But
bodies.
I love that he's clearly an organized crime. I get the vibe that like he wanted maybe she threatened a lawsuit or something. This is the narrative I constructed. She threatened a lawsuit, or maybe he was cheating, or there was some wrongdoing, and his answer was, "I'll get you whatever you want. What do you want?" And she's like, "I want to have a bakery like in Paris, France."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Here, it's here. Now shut up." And like that's what it is, and they fight in like a meat locker. It's pretty dark.
Yeah, no, this episode's really dark for being as entertaining as it is.
Yeah.
Because like they also talk about before it's like once we got married, that's it. Everybody out, just us. We're the only people we were with as of marriage. And it's like so before that, and she's like, yeah, he was a playboy. Like,
Yeah,
more than Hugh Hefner.
They were married. They were married 5 months after they met. Also, that was a thing that comes
and they've been
up.
together 6 years or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so since the episode has aired, Sammy actually, I don't know how this ever got resolved, but he was going to be deported back to Israel for failing to disclose his history of drug trafficking.
He's Israeli?
Yes. But I think
Thought he was Italian.
he was banned from Germany and one other country, so I think he may have been doing those things in Europe. I don't know. I don't know
Oh, you think
Sammy's
he was
full
in, like,
backstory.
The Israeli mob.
Maybe, yeah.
It's wild, like that somebody like that would invite a camera
Yeah.
crew into their
And
place.
then
He's
be
the
like,
gangster,
I'm a
not
gangster.
you.
I'm the gangster. I used to be a playboy. Like,
Yeah. It's an incredible episode of television. It's probably the best one we talked about all day.
Her eyes really are like
they're like Uma Thurman's but raised.
no, but like there are moments when you can see the gears turning where he's like, these aren't haters. Like the people reviewing your restaurant aren't haters, and you can see the gears turning. And she's so close to maybe breaking through this like crafted delusion.
Nah,
that
dude, it's
they're,
those
like,
online haters, those online
almost,
reviewers,
where
the losers,
everything
morons.
is and
Teeny weeny.
Fire. They went through like 100 people. Whatever, and it's like,
in a
And she's
few
like,
months.
fire
she's like,
people
we've
because
only
it's
had
them.
50 people, and he's like, it's actually more like 100.
I'm not accountable in any way, and I realized that process of the gears turning, but then still being in denial, is like essential to understanding American politics right now.
Oh God.
Wow.
That was my takeaway from that.
Wow.
Is I'm like, you know who both of these people voted for. And you know how they both felt.
I'm not gonna lie. While I watched the episode, I was like, I bet I know what their political views are.
I bet I know how they felt about the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh, and the answer was that it was unfair how it was treated. That's their stance. That's their stance.
And
that I'm
so-
projecting onto them.
And so their stance on Yelp and other similar reviewing
my
services is that it's like the worst thing that's happened to the restaurant industry, and the only outcome of Yelp has been that it has allowed haters and bullies to ruin their reputation
Probably
and their
paid
lives.
for by George Soros.
Yeah, there's like this whole conspiracy theory thing
my
where
God.
like everyone's out to get them and their restaurant's fine. They
And
don't have
she
to change
talks
anything.
about Amy. She talks about how there's so many good reviews. There's so many, but she never displays.
I think she
one.
might literally say the words "I'm the victim" here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think she
it's
does.
very yeah.
She says,
More than once.
what does she say a lot?
Is that a cup of chocolate chips over in the corner?
No, it's coffee beans.
Ah,
Yeah, it's to put pens in so they stay upright.
it's too bad. Go on. You're on, Dan.
I hate this. Where was I even going?
Welcome to my radio show, everybody.
Hijacked.
I was actually going to bring a real live air horn into the studio today.
Real live air.
Like not a recording of.
I was
like
gonna-
he was just gonna blast an arrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I brought some bagels instead. But anyways,
What
that's
an awful show.
What an awful guest.
What an awful episode of an awful show.
all right. So speaking of, back to episode 3 of Industry Professionals, when there were first murmurs and rumors of this appearance,
That's a bad look. This is a bad look to know when you were referenced on this show.
this inevitable. We've been on a crash course ever since week 3 of this show.
It's very tacky. I'm just
We knew it was gonna happen. And what I really want to talk about on this show is you usually talk about movies.
No!
And can we do Strange Wilderness? Come on. Is that all right?
dude.
So who here has seen Strange Wilderness?
We're not just doing this in the last like 5 minutes of.
We have 30 minutes left.
Let's hear it for Strange Wilderness.
Man, when we started this episode, we're like, this is probably the one where we had the best sound idea, like the best concept, and it's like, it just completely fell apart when it
Got
came
the best
to Joe.
snacks, that's for sure.
Ben, I'm laughing. You look frustrated.
I have to pee really bad. Am I allowed to say that on air?
Yeah, you can say that, but
Okay.
you're not going to the
No, I'm not going to. I just wanted to say it.
The door does.
I'm not giving up this mic.
Oh, God.
Can I take it to the bathroom with me?
No, absolutely not. It's
Clearly plugged in.
So like,
Thanks, Billy.
this is. I come away from this feeling the same way that I came away from watching the Amy's Baking Company, where I'm like, there's no resolution. This is all just sound and fury signifying nothing.
There's no takeaways. There's
Yeah.
nothing to be learned here.
Yeah. I mean,
What do you have to say, Joe?
what
are you
I can
looking
say is that we had 4 guests on the show, and now everything's worse.
And there's your theme for the day. I'd like to talk about this episode of Kitchen Nightmares that I came here to talk about some more. What did you guys think of the parts when Amy and Sammy just like got in customers' faces?
Would yell at customers
yeah,
about how they're wrong.
At one point, a man was like, "The Caesar salad is just like not right. Like, I don't know what this is. I ordered a Caesar salad. This is weird and not like, I don't know." And then Sammy is like, well, if you don't know what the problem is, how am I supposed to help you? Like, maybe, if you're going to go out to eat, you should know what you like and then order what you like. And then
They just blame the customer. They blame everybody
they
but
blame
themselves.
literally everybody that
Yeah.
violates their delusion. That they're
Even
right,
people who
right?
don't. Like,
yeah.
even like a girl, she's like, are you sure? Because she was like, 40 or 41A or B. And then she's like, are you sure? And she was like, get out. You're fired.
Yeah,
and it's
she
like,
literally
oh my
fires
God.
it. They take the tips.
oh, yeah.
That's
they
probably
do.
my least. That's
mean,
the
that's
part where I'm
just
like,
loathsome,
that's the
like-
most like morally bankrupt part of the whole episode. Is that they
And-
just take the girls'
And you
tips.
can tell what kind of dude Sammy is, that his response to everything is just like machismo and like being threatening in hopes that the other person will just back down.
Well, that's
Like,
where the I'm the gangster thing comes
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Is over the tips. Because
Well,
Gordon tells all the customers where the tips
he's
are.
like,
and they're
would
like,
you be mad?
"That's
He's like,
horrible."
would you be mad if you found out that the owner was taking the tips? And they were all like visibly disgusted.
They're
by
like,
that.
that is horrible.
And he's like, "Oh, what do you know? You
Yeah.
stupid! I'll fight you. I'll kill you.
I do everything around her. They don't do nothing.
Like,
I'm
he's-
the only one who knows the POS system. And it's like,
Yeah.
but how many POS systems have you worked? Every job that I've had. It's like she's already trained.
Yeah, he's a real POS system. I'll tell you that.
Person is suspect. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he talks about how he just does their job for them,
Yeah.
but they're still.
He works
doing
the
their
hardest because
jobs.
he's a job creator.
Yes.
At one point, they talked to a former employee who, for the first 2 months working there, was only allowed to pour and serve glasses of water.
Right. Yeah.
That's a sweet gig, though.
Is it?
I would not
that's
want to
an-
work
that's
there.
That is a
Doing
cushy
any-
gig.
Yeah, and then the other guy's like, yeah, I worked there for about a month, and I
I had
washed
to
his
wash
car once.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, your boss tells you to do something, you go and do it,
What
whatever
kind of car
it
do
be.
you think Sammy had? What kind of car was it?
Convertible of
This
some
A
sort, but
Lincoln, like a
not
Lincoln Town car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 'cause
I'm
he's
thinking like he goes for like sporty cars. Like he's like, I get a
Yeah.
convertible, but it's not like a
Oh.
nice one. It's just like it's like a BMW, which is a
Sure,
nice
sure.
convertible, but it's not like a Lamborghini.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, given that Ty Lopez.
I every time I say Lamborghini, it comes out like Ty
you're in the
Lopez.
Hollywood Hills,
I apologize.
Et cetera, et cetera.
oh, all right. Just got a bagel thrown at me.
Do you just
I don't
want to?
know what
Do you
I'm
just want to
gonna
like
do.
end the episode early?
No way, boys. I could keep going. Yeah,
Billy could come back in because he also watched the Kitchen
Well, what's your
Nightmares.
favorite episode of TV, Dan?
Oh God, I'm really glad that we didn't have to pick anything this
Yeah.
week because I would have had such trouble picking.
You probably would have avoided yourself all week.
No, I'd probably
Like
come
I
up with
did.
something at
Like
the beginning
Billie
of the
does
week,
when
so
he
I gave
closes
my
himself inside.
peers time to watch it.
To avoid Avengers Infinity War spoilers, but also just to avoid being hurt again. You know?
Oh, Ben, what would be your favorite episode
I don't
of
want
TV?
to talk about it because it's serious.
Wait, just tell me what it is and we won't talk
I
about
think
it.
it's season 1, episode 5, True Detective.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I mean, I've seen it.
There's it's when there are 2 timelines.
Is that the one with
right?
Stevie Ray Vaughan?
It's the one where Vince Vaughn.
Oh, sorry,
beats
no,
up a
you're right. That
mobster?
is Wedding Crashers. My favorite episode of TV is the movie Wedding Crashers. No, there's a time skip in season 1 of True Detective, and it also all revolves around one central event that is sort of hyped up. But in episode 5, we get the actual event, and we see that it didn't go down the way that
I don't remember this episode at all, dude.
the narrators are telling you.
I haven't seen this show in like probably 5 years.
I think it's the
Since
best
it
episode
came
of
out.
TV. Like,
Period.
probably.
That's fair.
I mean, I haven't seen all of The Sopranos yet, and it's like that's
or
I feel
The
like
Wire.
The Wire. I think is each episode. There aren't very artistic episodes of The Wire. I think it's just a well written show. Like the characters are really good. The dialogue is really good.
I
But
know what my favorite episode of TV is. It's for you. It's the episode of Family Guy where Brian dies. Billy all week was like, I want to talk about the episode of Family Guy where Brian dies.
So what was the deal with that? Because I never watched Family Guy, and then I heard it, but then they undid
Joe switch
it.
spots with Billy.
They undid it. The dog died.
Brian, yeah.
And then he came back.
So, there, grab the mic.
He'll just take the mic from you.
Joe, the seat is so warm right now.
Hey, Joe, have you been ripping that bagel in this room? No.
So, the reason why they killed off Brian is because my boy, Seth MacFarlane, was honestly, to get in a serious note, he seems like he's done with Family Guy in general. It just seems like he's done with that show because of how bad it is.
I'm gonna say it.
But
I don't know that there's much left to be done with Family Guy.
Family Guy is pretty bad now. All right, let's be real. Ever since season 6, it's gone downhill.
Come on, dude.
No way. I'm saying it. After Stewie killed Lois, it was like, what do we do now? That happened.
This ain't it, Chief. This is not the take.
But anyway, Seth MacFarlane was like, yeah, let's be edgy. Let's be one of those edgy shows. And we're gonna kill off a character. So
Seth MacFarlane's edgy.
he's so edgy.
God.
Just try it out.
Why would you put me on the spot like that?
Because
Come on, Dan.
it's uncomfortable. It's inherently uncomfortable to do.
Oh, I sing jazz
pretty
music,
good,
and
yeah.
I got a West movie that nobody liked, but I really like,
It's started
guys.
good. You were right to have like a little bit of that like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Heck yeah.
I was somewhere.
Yeah, no.
What about you,
Oh, yeah.
Billy? Oh,
Not
God.
as strong as no.
That wasn't
Oh yeah,
terrible.
you guys.
No, that
you
was
guys
alright.
ever see Ted? You guys ever see Ted? I love Ted 2.
Ah,
Ted 2
Ted.
is my favorite movie to work on. You ever see my what's this
This is a
Western movie
horrible
called?
impression.
What's that? What 1,000
Million
Ways to Die in the West?
West?
A Million Ways to Die in the West. What a
Yeah, dude, that was the
bad
cowboy
movie.
1,000 Ways to Die episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, going back to my man Brian getting sliced off a television. After that happened, all of the millions of fans who truly recognize Family Guy for the amazing television program that it is were like, hey, wait a minute, Fox and Seth MacFarlane. We don't like this. Put him back on now. And a bunch of people wrote a bunch of very strongly worded letters to Seth MacFarlane himself. And then he was like, okay, I'm sorry. And then they made Brian come back to life. But before that, they had a dog named Vinny that was supposed to replace Brian. And he's played by that one guy from The Sopranos who's like a tough guy and is like, oh, why you oughta. And he was supposed to be
The
from
preceding material may be objectionable to some listeners. This material does not represent the views or opinions of WBTVLP. Thank you for listening.
Hell yeah. I want it to be noted that I never was the reason that's the thing that's driving me nuts, is because I feel like we have our thing and like you're the stabilizing element, and then it's just they're even further out than me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's just it's only chaos has taken hold.
Yeah, dude, this is the movie 43 of our industry professionals.
Yikes.
Is this it?
I'm just happy that it wasn't me. This is
What wasn't you?
the catalyst for
Me reading the F-bomb script? Yeah. I mean, he didn't say anything. I just wanted to get him to stop talking.
Oh, wait, for real?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, the views that were just stated do not reflect our own.
Dude, that's
because
so
he's
good.
talking about how good Family Guy is.
I thought he dropped something, and I was like, that's awesome.
No, he didn't say anything. I was just trying to get him to stop
Yeah,
talking
no,
about Family Guy.
I was so worried, I swear.
It might sound a little
Good.
crazy, but I think Family Guy might not have a lot of material left to mine there.
Yeah, I think it might be a dead horse at this point that's just being beat.
Yeah.
It's in the ground, and it's been in the ground. Seth MacFarlane knows that.
Aren't there
That's
new
why he's working
seasons
on
still?
American Dad.
American Dad.
Yeah, that show
To be
makes so
fair,
much
American Dad's
money.
funnier than Family Guy.
Exactly, because he's like, he's jumped ship on the Family Guy boat.
And then there's the other one.
Cleveland Show.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, well, no, hold on. We're forgetting about the other one, Border Town.
Oh my god.
Or whatever
that was
it's
a
called.
Disaster.
Border what? Was it Borderville, Border
I think it was
Town?
Border Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a
That,
classic.
like, awful
You ever see that, Ben?
show.
No.
It's like about a dude who
I-
works on the border.
Seth MacFarlane, I don't like. Not only do I not enjoy his personality as a person, but I also don't enjoy his style.
shtick.
His style is so.
No,
a
dude,
thing
classy
that I
jazz
just
is the
don't-
perfect background to throwing up and pooping humor.
Yeah, I don't know. And it,
The Ipecac scene in Family Guy, though,
Dude, that's legendary.
that's the best.
They-
That's the funniest scene.
they
That was
throw
the
up
funniest
for,
thing
like-
ever when I was 10 years old.
It's the funniest thing now.
I guess.
It's still the funniest moment
No.
on television history.
that's stupid. You know what's funny is get him to the Greek.
Good God.
It's a thinking man's comedy. It's like, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. It's right up here. Right under there, get him to the Greek.
You know what really is a thinking man show?
Yeah.
Don't say Rick and Morty.
The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, even better.
You really need to
Unironically-
understand science in order to get that.
Unironically, this is not a joke. Probably every time I interact with my grandfather for a long amount of time, he tells me that he watches a lot of The Big Bang Theory and that he thinks I would really like it.
Yeah.
And that wounds me a lot on a base level, but also he says it every time because he just forgets that he told me that or whatever. And he's like, you would love it. It's like, and I'm like, please stop, please stop. And he's like, it's just like how you are. And I'm like, please stop. Please don't.
Dude, my mom said
Make
the
it
same
any more
thing.
clear what you mean.
No, my mom said the same thing about me and my brother because she's like, this show's so funny. It's like they talk about like Minecraft and you guys play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, just want to let you know that Hulu protected you from a bullet today because they didn't have young Sheldon on there, and that was gonna be Joe's pick.
That's a great. That's awesome.
I was like, go for it, and I was
Young
kind of disappointed
Sheldon,
it wasn't
if
there.
I'm not mistaken, I've seen some clips of Young Sheldon, and it seems like it's supposed to have like pathos. Like it seems like it's supposed to be like a episode where it ends and you're like, oh, my feels. I didn't expect to get feels from this show.
Yeah, like Rick
I
and
felt
Morty.
a heckin' feels.
Hecka.
Hecka feels.
Yeah, Hecka feels. There it is.
You don't get feels when you watch The Big Bang Theory?
I don't.
I get a bad feeling.
I don't get
Yeah.
feels. I don't feel
like
things.
I just drank some Ipecac.
Nice.
I don't feel things when I watch TV, so I don't. That's
Yeah.
why Steven Universe kind of. I was like, I don't know why what the point of this is because I don't know what the point is because like.
Is it okay to hit kids?
Well, I mean, like
Is
that,
it-
and then also it's just like, what can this show possibly teach me, a grown adult, about how to be a well-adjusted person?
Like a
I
Zach
don't,
Braff movie.
I don't think so. Exactly, yeah.
Ben, you wound me deeply. I just wanted that said.
No response.
I don't really have a. I'm fried from just the stress of thinking that Billie dropped an F-bomb.
I'm glad that I somehow tricked all of you into thinking that.
That was it.
happened.
Well, it's because
like even Billy thought.
like, oh god.
Because the scary thing about not being able to swear is that you do it so much that you're like, would I even think to not say it? And the answer is, for the most part, yeah. Like we're fine. But it's enough that if I didn't hear something, I could be like, wait, did he say something? And I didn't hear?
Yeah, yawn while mid sentence.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, bring the mic closer to you, Billy. You have something to say.
I always got something to say.
I thought Billy was just gonna
I feel like-
just drop an F-bomb right.
Whoa, that would have been
Power move.
That would've been
savage.
upsetting.
Oh my gosh.
I think I
would-
would just cut the mics at that point, right? I'd just be like, no, we're done.
I hope to God nobody's realized that I cut the mics like 30 minutes.
What's the show about?
Like movies?
Oh, okay.
It's entertainment. We talk about it.
They're professionals.
Industry professionals.
Industry
So, I don't like,
professionals.
I don't like where this is going. Joe's got the mic again.
Gonna be honest with you, I was hoping I'd think of something while I was scooting my way over here. It's not easy.
It's not
It's
easy to
even
make
harder
that
when the
sausage.
odds are just stacked against you. You know, you come on with a good episode of Kitchen Nightmares. You poured your heart into the preparation for this episode, and you're just vilified from the very start.
That's
A
fair.
f-
Before you were even
A
on the
full
mic, we were trashing you.
75 minutes before a full 3 months ago. You guys were saying that,
Here we go.
you know, I've had enough of the bullying from all the haters and losers on Yelp. And
Good tie-in there. Good job.
Amy's Baking Company, everybody, check it out.
All right. So we're
Arizona
done
somewhere. Oh, we're not done.
here. I think that's up to me and Ben.
I hope that they realize that
You're on my show now.
it's hard. It's not
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny to be in a room with your friends and just be like spitballing literally nothing into a mic. But I'm sure people getting out of work and in their cars are just like, what is this? Like,
This
come
is
on.
entertainment.
Hey,
If I heard this on my commute, if I heard this
Yeah,
on
bring
my
the
commute,
mic.
Back from like a day of a job,
Hard day of work.
I would hate us so much.
I would never listen to this radio
I would
station
be like,
again.
this is the worst. Like, this is everything wrong with like. How's that fair?
Millennials.
How's that fair that they're laughing it up? Meanwhile, I'm taking OxyContin because I busted my back in the factory today. How's that fair? Huh?
And here we are laughing.
Why am I
about-
not the professional? And the answer is because you just don't know about the industry, buddy.
You're not an insider.
Try
guy.
again, hon.
Try again, hon. Wow.
All right, I think that does it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna I'm putting my throat down directly on the windpipe of this episode, making sure that no more oxygen can get to it. We're not gonna be back for a little bit. We're gonna have to figure it
Taking
out.
like a month hiatus.
We're taking a month hiatus, taking a month to think about the show creatively.
conceptually.
Yeah, really
from the
kind
ground
of
up.
sabbatical style. I'm gonna be spending some time in the woods, maybe doing some traveling, seeing if there's something I can learn from maybe like Eastern cultures. But like that's kind of the plan in the tentative future. I don't. Yeah, I'm
we
not
get
sure
an
I really
appreciation for
understand.
some other art form, and we talk about Bollywood.
Like Bahubali?
Yeah, like
Sorry, what?
Ben, we've talked
Okay,
about
yeah,
Bahubali several times, and
okay.
you've stuck your nose up at it several times.
Bahubali is the best Bollywood
We're
movie
doing the
that has
Bahubali
ever been
episode.
created. It is a two-parter. Both parts are easily like 2.5 to 3 hours long, and it is
thought you
a
got that windpipe.
spectacle, a true spectacle. It's on Netflix.
5 hours
it's on
worth
the
of
internet.
content.
Like, find it. You should probably pay for this movie too, because it's that.
But it's on
good.
YouTube, so get on it.
Yeah,
I truly
please
thought
watch
I
it.
had choked the life out of this episode, and then
You're like,
and then
"Here comes Billy
at the
again."
moment, and then there's tears running down my face, right? Because I'm sobbing because I love it, but I know that I have to choke the life out of it, right? And tears are running down my face. It's a powerful moment for me, and then I sit back, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm like. It's over, and then the body just goes, and that's what just happened. All right, that's our show. Please, I don't have access to the buttons. Dan, you
I'm
need
the
to
buttons
do
guy.
this.
I don't know what to do now because there's nothing.
All right, everybody. During the coming month-long hiatus, it's Joe again, by the way. For the next month, you can tune in on Fridays from 3 to 5. It's gonna be your boys. It's gonna be your boys, Billie and Joe, coming up for the next month on Fridays. We're taking over during this hiatus. We're the guest hosts.
What's the show called?
It's called Vermont Film Essentials.
Dude. All right. I'm playing a song. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
We're so sorry.